Hello and welcome back to BlueBirdMotorCare. Hope everyone's doing well. Got an interesting job on the ramp today, so I thought I'd bring you along and show you how it goes. It's a Citroen Dispatch. It's got the 1.5 DV5 engine in there. Problem with this one, it's got a really noisy top end when it's running. I'm going to insert a clip now so you can hear and listen to how it sounds. So, as I'm sure you've just heard, it's got a very noisy top end, this engine. It sounded even worse when I started it up from cold this morning. We've only run it very briefly, just to confirm that the noise is there and there is an issue. The timing chains on these, now they do run the timing belt, but there's a chain that runs between the two camshafts. It's known to fail. They came from factory with a 7mm chain, which just proved not to be strong enough because they are quite common for breaking, snapping. There is an 8mm chain upgrade kit for these, but it does involve removing injectors, top end, timing belt, etc. Now I'm only guessing that that's what the problem is. The only reason why I'm saying it might be that is because I've seen it quite a few times, but until we've stripped it down we won't know. So then let's strip it down and see what we find. So what I'm going to do first is remove these boost pipes, intake pipe and the air box. Now that we've got the air box taken out and the intake pipes, we've got a lot more room. Now I'm going to remove these electrical connectors off the injectors, very gingerly remove the leak off pipes. You've got to be careful with these, make sure you don't break anything because they are really brittle usually. Then we'll take this top cover off here, rocker cover. To remove these leak off pipes, there's a little white tab on the top. You need to pull it up, and then I get a pair of needle nose pliers and I just gently ease them up. Luckily this time they all came out nicely. Next we'll move this wiring harness out of the way. Now that wiring harness is out of the way, we're going to take the rocker cover off. A few 8mm, that's a 10mm, and we'll pull it out. So now that we've removed the rocker cover, next to come off will be these fuel lines, followed by the fuel injectors. Taking note which cylinder they came out of, otherwise it'll have to recode it. Next on the list of things to come out is this fuel rail, fuel filter and housing, and the throttle body. Throttle body and fuel filter has been taken off. Now we're going to remove the vacuum pump, then that's everything from this area. Then we're going to have to go ahead and take the timing belt off. Just taking the bolts out of the vacuum pump, that's disconnected and loose now. Going to leave it there for now. Everything else is taken off the top but needs to be removed. Now I'm going to take the timing belt off. We'll take the driver's side wheel out, wheel arch liner, take this top cover off and strip it down. So we're now back up at the top end. I'm going to remove this cover here, get the 7mm out, took a bit of the wiring loom off already. Then we're going to support the engine, remove the engine mount, take this knock sensor connector and plug out of the way. Then we'll have full access to that timing belt once everything's taken off. Take the timing belt off, top end cam box, we'll then be able to remove it easily. So that's how it's all looking now that I've took the engine mount off and all the covers. We've got full exposure of that timing belt. I have locked it in position. Next up, I'm going to remove the timing belt by just undoing this tensioner just down here. That'll loosen off the timing belt. Then I'm going to remove this cam pulley. There's a plastic cover here that needs to come off, to take that off as well. Then that's the final step. Then after that we'll remove the cam box. Let's have a look at this timing belt. An original belt, so it's a good job of changing it. It doesn't look too bad in the condition. I'll have a better look at it when it's completely off. So now I've got the cam pulley taken off and that plastic cover just pushed to one side. We're now free to remove all the bolts on the perimeter of this cam box, and we're going to lift it up and we can finally check the condition of that chain. So here we are then, there's that cam box, now it's been removed. Looking at the cam box itself, the chain is a little bit stretched, but it's not in too bad a condition. The cam lobes have got some signs of scoring on them. If you run your finger over the top of them, they are a little bit rough, especially on the peaks of the cam lobes. The biggest issue I've found is these rocker arms. So in the middle of these there's a little bearing which has got needle roller bearings inside them. Some of them are completely shot. If you look at this one for instance, all that play, that should not be there. It should spin freely and smoothly. And some of them are even locked solid in position. I can't move that one at all. This is going to cause, one, a horrible noise on the top end of the engine, and two, a rough running condition, because especially on these ones that are seized, it'll be preventing the valves from opening and closing properly, which will cause a rough running issue that the van had. So it looks like we've found the culprit, which is good news. What we're going to do is we're going to replace this cam box, 2 new cams in there, chain all fitted in one with the upgraded 8mm chain. We're going to replace all these rocker arms. We're going to replace all the hydraulic lifters as a matter of precaution, and then once that's been done, the van should be running really good. So after having a look at the damage on the rocker arms and the cam box, I think it's best we have a good look at this top of the cylinder head. Got all 16 valves here in front of us. I've done a little compression test and blown some air into the cylinders. This one's good, number 1. Number 2 is great. Number 4's fine. Number 3 is not. And when you take a closer look, this valve is heavily mushroomed over on cylinder number 3. It's misaligned with the valve spring, and it's sitting quite a lot lower than the other 4. So unfortunately in this instance we're going to have to remove the cylinder head. I've already started stripping it down, took the DPF out completely in the turbo. I am going to carry on now. What you have to do realistically is EGR's going to come out. There's a pipe here that connects to the back of the cylinder head. I'm going to remove that, and the coolant box, so the coolant block on the side here, that needs to be disconnected. Then need to take great care of getting these head bolts out because they are prone to breaking. I am just going to crack on with this one. I'm not going to film it. I'll give you an update once I've got the cylinder head off. So here we have the cylinder head. Got all 16 valves just sat here, and you can see that one that was pointed out to yesterday has got a large air gap there. It's clearly bent. That seized rocker must have caused this situation. I'm hoping that it is just this one valve bent. I'm going to strip this fuel pump off it, take the manifold off it, and then I'm going to send it to my machine shop. They'll completely rebuild the head, pressure test it, make sure everything's bang on before I put it back on. So wait for an update on that one and I'll start filming again. Good news then, we've got our cylinder head back from the machine shop. It's had 2 new valves fitted. Now the valves were actually bent on cylinder number 3, which I believe is this one here, but they've just put them on the end so they know where they are, was it replaced. It makes no difference really, because all the other valves are in perfect condition. We've had them all checked, it's been skimmed, it's had a pressure test. The cylinder head now is 100% tip top, in good condition, ready to be refitted. We've also got all the new gaskets, a new headset, which comes with head bolts, you name it. If you need it, it's all been packed up nicely. Whilst we're on the subject of cylinder heads, I will stress how important it is to have an engineering shop that you trust to do the work perfectly. Now, we use a company called Oldham Engines, who I've used for years and years now. Dead reputable, dead nice people, won't rip you off. They won't charge you for 16 valves if you only need 2. They'll fix what needs fixing and they'll make sure it's bang on. Never had any issues with any of the work they've done for me. And when it comes to parts, if you ask them for a headset, they'll make sure it's coming with all really high quality stuff, high quality sealant, high quality head bolts. As a shop and their service, it's a credit to them. They always do a fantastic job, and I always leave there with a refreshed feeling, thinking, you know what, these lads actually care about what they do and care about the customers. So fair enough for Oldham Engines. I'm going to leave I'll leave a contact details or something like that in the description, so that if you're in need of any engine repairs, give them a shout. So we've given the block deck a nice clean up. I'm going to go over it once again with a bit of brake cleaner and a clean rag, make sure there's no oil contamination on that surface, and then we're going to pop that head gasket on. So we'll just pop the new cylinder head gasket on there. Make sure when you're putting your cylinder head gasket on, if you end up ever doing one, you put it on the right way around, not blocking any oil galleries or coolant galleries, because if you do that, then you're going to be taking the cylinder head back off again. Now we're going to put the cylinder head on. It's going to be tricky to film that because it's such a heavy lump, but I'm going to put that in now. So there we have the cylinder head in position. I'm going to put the head bolts down in their slots. Make sure before you do that though, you get some compressed air and you blow down, you make sure the threads that are clean into the block. Otherwise you can end up, if there's a bit of moisture in there, it can end up compressing against the bolt and you won't get the correct torque when you've torqued it down to spec. So there we have the cylinder head, all been bolted down in position now. Torque settings on these is 20 Newton meters, followed by 40 Newton meters, then 130 degrees twice over, using a digital torque wrench to keep things absolutely perfectly precise. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the intake pipe, I'm going to bolt that back in position. There's some bolts around the back where the EGR sits. EGR needs putting back in. Coolant block, sorry. I'm going to put that back on, put a new gasket in there, and there's also a mount on this side here which attaches to the alternator, so we're going to put that back in too. So let's get to it. Just a quick update then. We've got the EGR plumbed in, pipe work around the back is all good now. Coolant blocks all been bolted up, a new gasket on. We've put new hydraulic lifters and rocker arms, all 16 have been replaced. Next up, we're going to put the new cam box in. There's a quick look at the new cam box with the new 8mm chain. I've just put some gasket on there, some gasket sealer, let it catch a bit of air for a couple of minutes, and now we're going to fit it to the van. And there we have the nice new shiny cam box all installed. Take note that the bolts that hold this in are on stretch bolts, so if you are reusing them, take great caution. Another part that we've sourced from Oldham Engines, they keep these in stock, which is really handy because these are a super common failure at the moment, these 1.5s. Moving forward now, there's a fuel filter housing that needs to be put on around the back. Then I'm going to focus on putting the turbo back on and then the DPF. Time for an update then. We've cracked on, we've got the throttle body installed, fuel filter and fuel filter housing, fuel rail, injectors, top cover. Turbo is lightly installed there, just need to put the return pipe bolts in properly. Vacuum pumps on. I'm thinking now, because I want to send the vehicle up at some point soon, I'm going to put the timing belt on so I can put all the covers back on and put the engine mount back in position. And there we have the fresh new timing belt fitted with a new tensioner, water pump and guide pulley all timed up nicely. Now let's bob them covers on and the engine mount. That's the covers and the engine mount all installed, starting to take shape now. Next thing I'm going to do is raise the vehicle up and work on getting that turbo fully fitted and then the DPF filter. We have the DPF filter now reinstalled along with the NOx sensors and the various temperature probes in the DPF. They've all been plumbed back in and connected up nicely. Turbo's all bolted in now. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the various intake pipes and boost pipes on, and then we're not too far away from initially firing the van up. So now we've fitted the intake pipes, the boost pipes, airbox is all installed, all the electrical connectors are now in position. Last thing to do is to reconnect the battery, and then we're going to go ahead and start the van up for the first time. So let's go ahead and fire it up, see how it sounds. Well then, listening to that then, sounds like I've had a really good result. I've just done an oil change on the van. I've taken it for a small test drive and it's running really good. It's got plenty of power, it boosts nicely, everything seems to be working as it should. I'm very happy with that. Quite a lengthy procedure to remove the cylinder head on one of these. Probably not something I'd recommend to do if you weren't a seasoned mechanic kind of thing. But we've got it sorted and it's healthy and running great again. Another happy customer down the road. This van's now ready to resume work, and yeah, it'll be reliable for plenty of time to come. I'm going to go ahead and say that I feel like the root cause of this problem was maybe lack of oil changes. There's no other real reason why. I spoke to my friend at Oldham Engines, and he was like, well, realistically, them rocker arms don't just decide to disintegrate on their own. It's normally a lack of oil changes, and it was a little bit sludgy in there, but it's had an oil change now, and I'm going to advise the customer from now on just to keep on top of it, which I'm certainly will do. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You made it all the way to the end. I'll try and get another one posted out at some point in the near future, something interesting. Hope you enjoy it all. If you need any mechanical advice or mechanical repairs of any nature, it doesn't have to be a big job, anything small, servicing, MOTs, timing belts, timing change, clutches, you name it, we cover absolutely everything. See you again, and thanks for watching.